Okay, I'm going to take one day to discuss this and one day alone, and I'm going to try and keep this short. But Andrew Cuomo's sex scandals do not matter. Andrew Cuomo is a bad guy. He's been a bad guy for, I mean, as long as he's been in politics. As is typical of people in politics. And all of these new revelations about, oh, he hit on women. I mean, how does that compare to anything else that he's done in his life? I mean, I'm sure you've already heard plenty of people, cite the example, well, he killed a bunch of old people. That seems to be worse than hitting on women. But even still, his job, what he does for a living, is oppress people. That's what the governor of New York does. He enforces all the laws that they have in New York that suppress entrepreneurs, that suppress gun owners, and just basically keep people pinned down relative to other states. And he also acts like a gangster anyway. So I mean, why is it a surprise to you that he would hit on women? I mean, what is this? I mean, as far as I'm concerned, this shouldn't be a news story. Bill Clinton was president for 8 years. President of the United States, not just governor of New York. He was the governor of Arkansas before that. And guess what? He did a lot more than just hit on women. He hit women. And he did unspeakable things to them that I don't want to say on this channel for risk of getting demonetized. Not that I ever will be monetized to begin with. But if you still follow the rules of monetization, I feel like they're less likely to ban you outright. So yeah, Cuomo, bad guy. I'm glad to see him struggling. I'm glad to see him starting to sweat, and I will be glad to see when he is forced out of office. However, he's not being forced out of office for the right reason, not by far. He's getting a pass on all of the terrible things that he's done throughout his career. And again, just he's getting crucified for being a creepy old man. And worse still, the only reason why these stories are getting any traction anyway is because Cuomo has served his purpose. Trump is gone. Kamala Harris is now the vice president. And she does not want any rivals challenging her in the 2024 primary. And so her allies in the media, because we remember from the 2020 campaign how loyal the media was to Kamala Harris, she was the real favorite, not Joe Biden. The media really wanted old Cami Cooper to rise to the top, but she didn't, despite all of their machinations. And so now what they're trying to do is they're trying to beat down anyone who is not Kamala Harris to make sure that they are completely unelectable come 2024. Cuomo and Newsom were both once regarded as, public health warriors who were standing up against these evil, Republicans, Trump and DeSantis, who just wanted to get us all killed. And now they're both being thrown in the trash. And so while I stop short of defending Andrew Cuomo, because I don't think he's a good guy, I think he's a much worse guy than the media would have us believe, yes, even after this week. But I do not like the way in which he's being canceled. I'm not going to go along with it. I'm not going to play into their hand. I'm not going to help them. If this is how they want to take him down, they're going to have to do it on their own. And I think everyone else who is not a fan of Cuomo should do the same. Let the left eat him for this. But there's no reason why you should jump on this bandwagon. At least not in the sense that this is his one true evil. That this is, oh my gosh, this is completely untoward. I've never heard of anything like this in my life. This is despicable. Shut up. We've all seen people who are like that. And a lot of the people criticizing Cuomo might do that in their personal life too. They might be creepy guys who hit on younger women. How do you think that old men, rich old men, end up with, 25-year-old girlfriends? It's by asking a 25-year-old, well, have you ever been with an older man? What do you think about that? Personally, I like anybody who's over 22. I think that the mind is matured by then. And there's some very interesting, whatever they want to say, whatever creepy, lines they have to say, hey, I'm powerful, I have money, sleep with me, and I will enrich you. Yes, it's gross, it's disgusting, but that's a part of our degenerate culture. Where people don't, get married at a young age to someone who is their age. You end up with these old men who are in loveless marriages, just looking for, I don't know, some sort of, well, I don't want to psychoanalyze old perverts, but let's stay out of that field. And so whatever personal shortcomings Andrew Cuomo has, they pale in comparison to the evil acts that he has committed in his official capacity as the governor of New York. Frankly, I think just being elected the governor of New York is reason enough to cancel somebody, because you don't get to be the governor of New York by being a good person. It's just not possible. The place is too corrupt. It's too slimy. Good people do not achieve that, that level in the state of New York. They don't get to that position. And of course, once they do get to that position, they are going to commit a bunch of evil acts against their own people. So, yeah, all in all, he's the governor of New York. Yeah, bad guy. And once they get rid of Cuomo, it's not like they're going to replace him with anybody who's better. All these people are going to be bad folks. As I said, nothing is going to change. The only difference that this is making is that Kamala Harris is going to have a smoother path to the nomination in 2024, because we all know that if anyone ran against her, she would lose horribly because nobody likes her. I think even Andrew Cuomo is probably a more appealing candidate than Kamala Harris, and that's saying something. And even if the media somehow did drag her over the finish line by, let's say, canceling Cuomo after he ran instead of canceling him now, well, let's just say that a battered Kamala Harris would make for a weaker candidate overall. I think it would be an interesting process to see somebody like Cuomo, tear into her and really try and tear her down so that he could win. I think that, it might force a lot of people to acknowledge, again, how much they don't like her. Yeah, so 7.5 minutes is enough time to discuss all this. This is not an important story, and I will not be talking about it again. Goodbye.